Hi, second graders. Back to reading Guinea Dog today. The chapter we're on is called I Wasn't As Nervous to Go Home That Day. And if you remember, Rufus had a little friend in his backpack at school who decided to chase him around at recess, and he was very embarrassed. In fact, I couldn't wait to get there. I slipped out after the bell without Murph seeing me, which isn't so tough to do. His focus is not usually on any one person, unless it's a girl, which I definitely am not. Dimitri was helping out by trying desperately to show Murph his U-phone, which he had rushed to get from Miss Sharp before the bell had finished ringing. The phone had beeped too many times during class, and she had confiscated it. I grabbed my jacket from my locker, scrambled outside, got my backpack from under the bush, and shot like a bullet towards home. My loose left shoe slowed me down, but I didn't stop to replace the lace or to check on Fido in my bag. I didn't want anyone catching up with me and bugging me about the strange animal at recess. I just wanted to get home. My dad was waiting for me just inside the door again. Hello, son, he said, his eyes glowing in the dark. Hi, Dad. Fine day at school? I guess. I started to edge by him. He blocked me. Aren't you going to ask about my day? Oh, sure. How was your day, Dad? On the whole, nerve-wracking. Thanks for asking. I looked at him blankly. But Fido, I started to say, then wondered if I should volunteer how she stowed away and got loose at school and everything. If Dad had a bad day, it couldn't have been Fido's fault. It must have been because of something else. I had taken off in a real rush this morning. I bet I forgot to do something, like bust my dishes. No, all I had was a banana. And I distinctly remember throwing the peel in the compost, not the garbage. I couldn't think of anything I did or didn't do that would have made my dad's day nerve-wracking. That is, anything that would have bugged him all day long. Why was it nerve-wracking, I asked. Well, first, I spent over an hour hunting for your mother's Petopia, he said. Without success, of course. Good, that was Mom's fault. And then I spent the rest of the day trying to work while being driven stark raving mad by the chattering of that. His face got all red and scary. That creature! I took a couple of breaths, sort of letting his anger cloud blow over me. Then I said, But Dad, Fido was... So maybe you have some idea how we might rectify this untenable situation, son, he interrupted. After all, I do have a living to make. I shrugged. I wasn't exactly sure what he was saying to me. Luckily, Fido said something. I'd forgotten about her for a minute, if you can believe that. That's what Dad can do to me. He can make me forget that I have a chubby rat in a sack on my back. When Fido started whining, Dad's shoulders shrank up to his ears. Find her, Rufus, he growled. Find her, wherever she is, and I'll destroy her. But Dad, she's right here, in my backpack. That's what I'm trying to tell you. She's stowed away in it this morning somehow, and she's been at school with me all day. My dad's shoulders fell. So did his jaw, and his face. I never saw somebody go from so tight to so loose so fast. But, he muttered. Look, I said, and I took off my backpack, untied the shoelace, and unzipped the zipper. A smell rushed out of my nostrils. It was not a nice smell. Right behind it was Fido's twitchy face. She, of course, licked mine. Well, my face wasn't twitchy. Then again, maybe it was. She was, Dad said, looking down at her. He was still acting weirdly dazed. She was with you all day? Yeah, she was in my backpack. After I found her, I hid the backpack in some bushes. She was in there all day. That wasn't exactly true. She got out. Who knows? Maybe she went home and bothered Dad and came back before recess. It was possible. Maybe after recess. After I tied her in, she squealed so loud that Dad heard her from home. No, that wasn't possible. Dad had sensitive hearing. Very sensitive hearing. But no human could hear a guinea pig from that distance. Nope, she couldn't have bugged him all day. So that was my justification for not telling him about the recess parade. So then she wasn't here? Dad said. He sounded like he was talking to himself. So I didn't answer. His forehead got all worry-lined. I'll take her out back and play with her so she won't disturb you anymore, I said. My dad nodded, then turned away. Thanks. I carried my backpack outside and dumped it onto the grass. Fido ran around in circles, hopping and barking and acting nuts. So I ordered her to sit. And she sat. The people who trained her knew what they were doing. It was a pity we couldn't find the store where Mom bought her. I bet a lot of people in Rustbury would want a trained guinea pig. Not me, though. I wanted a dog. Her little turds were hard and didn't smell too bad in my backpack. Neither did the pee, though it smelled worse. There were some signs of gnawing and scratching on the inside of the bag, but nothing major. I expected it to be worse, though she shouldn't have stowed away. She had been sort of good. Yes, she did totally embarrass me in front of the entire fifth grade, but that wasn't exactly her fault. I probably left the zipper unzipped. I should try to remember to start closing things I wanted closed, such as my mouth around my mom when I wanted a dog. Fido sat up looking at me, her front paws dangling, her nose and whiskers twitching. All of a sudden, the white mohawk just cracked me up, and I totally lost it. She was a weird little thing, no doubt about it, but she sure did aim to please. I tossed a twig a couple of feet away, and she raced after it. When she brought it back, I threw it again, then again, and again. 20 times, maybe 30. She was always ready for another toss, hopping up and down, wagging her butt. It wasn't exactly playing fetch with Buddy. It wasn't remotely like playing fetch with Buddy. But yeah, okay, in a way, it was fetch. Fetch with a tiny twig and a rotund rodent. One time, instead of coming back with a twig, she had a dusty old piece of string. She dropped it on the grass and picked up one end in her teeth, and the other end dangled. You want me to take that? She growled. It was a very tiny growl, coming from the very tiny throat, buried deep in the fur around her neck. But I'm going to cut her some slack here and call it a growl. I took the other end of the string, and she gripped her end tighter and growled a bit deeper. Tug of war? I asked, pulling my end a little harder. Are you kidding me? She dug her front claws into the dirt. She wagged her butt, trying to maximize her weight distribution, like a TV wrestler. Or at least, that's what it looked like to me. I tugged a little bit harder. Understand that I was pinching my end of the string between my finger and my thumb, and that holding onto it took absolutely no strength at all. This was totally one-sided. She was doing all the tugging. She dug her claws deeper into the ground and pulled on the string with all her weight. And the string snapped between her sharp front teeth, and she rolled over backward like a fuzzy cantaloupe 3 or 4 times. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. I fell over laughing. I laughed till it hurt, which felt pretty good. Fido just ran around and around me, squealing. Dad slid open the window in his study and hollered, "Rufus!" I stopped laughing. Fido stopped circling. We looked up. Dad sighed, then he smiled. I wasn't sure at this distance if it was a pleasant smile or crazy. "Never mind," he said, and slid the window shut. I shrugged at Fido. Did she shrug back? Probably not, but it looked like it. "Rufus!" a voice called. It came from the front of the house. "Rufus! I don't know the code. Do I need the code?" It was Lorena Straits. What was she doing at my house? I ordered Fido back into my backpack, and she obeyed without a whimper. Lorena was on the front porch. She was not hard to spot. Her hair is very long, like never been cut in her life long, and wavy and curly and goldenish. She puts a lot of things in it. Girl things, hair things. And she wears really girly clothes, too. Dresses, skirts, shiny shoes, sweaters that button down the front. Here's what she doesn't wear. Normal clothes like jeans or tennis shoes or t-shirts or hoodies. "I really can't knock?" she asked. "What are you doing here?" I asked back. "I have to have a code?" "My dad works at home." "Oh," she said, thinking this over. "I was heading over to the rec center because they started a new Scrabble club, and I came by to ask you to join me if you'd like. You're the only other person I know who likes to anagram. If you don't go, there might not be anyone there, except me, that is." She laughed. Why? Because she thought she was funny. She often thinks that what she says is funny, and laughs at it, usually alone. "So what do you say?" she asked, clapping her hands together. "Want to come?" It was true that I did like to anagram, and that not very many other kids did, but did I want to join a Scrabble club or hang out with kids who would? More important, was it worth walking down the street with Lorena to check it out? It was the kind of thing that could ruin a fifth grade guy's image. Not that my image was all that great anyways. Still, I was leaning towards not risking it. But Fido spared me the decision. Wonder what that means. Wonder what Fido's doing. Our next chapter is called I Guess I Forgot to Zip It Up Again. Do you know what he's talking about? Do you think you know what happened? Have to check back in next time. Bye.